Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another Cat and Bourbon Boys video. I wanted to talk for a second about the previous video. It is hard when you're talking and pouring up samples. I accidentally grabbed the wrong Yellowstone when I was doing the OHLQ pick compared to the regular Yellowstone Select, which screwed up my review a little bit, but the tasting notes obviously were all the same, and the OHLQ pick was a lot better than the standard Yellowstone, which gave extremely young notes. But as a rebuttal for that, I want to do some more Ohio picks, do the same kind of comparison. This time I want to do the Remus. I'm going to do a Russell's pick, and then the brand new Jefferson's single barrel selection from OHLQ. In comparison to regular Jefferson's, a regular single barrel Russell's Reserve, and the regular George Remus. This time, don't make fun of me too bad, but hopefully I don't screw up the selections. But last time I kind of ended it saying OHLQ picks, are they worth hunting out? And the answer was no. That specific barrel of Yellowstone I prefer a lot over the regular Yellowstone. But I still have, I've never done this type of comparison before, and I've never seen this type of comparison really done. Usually when you see a single barrel comparison, it's usually barrel pick to barrel pick, kind of who picks the better picks. And that's where I typically form my opinion on OHLQ and how their picks were in comparison. But it's kind of, we're downgrading a little bit to the regular batch instead of picking out a single barrel, which is probably very unique compared to the regular small batch or the regular single barrel products that come out at the distilleries. But we're going to do it one more time, and we'll gauge an honest opinion at the end of this one. But right now I have a regular Russell's poured up that I was sipping on a little bit before this video, and I'm going to sip on it a little bit, and then I'm going to pour up this Russell's Reserve OHLQ pick. This one here specifically is a, it's about a 9-year-old bourbon. It was OHLQ's 2020 barrel number 2. I did snag a decent amount of the Russell stuff. I was turned off, like I said in the previous video, from the Father's Day 2019 Russell's pick that Ohio did. I compared it to a lot of other Russell's picks, and it was quite rough. We ended up mixing it off and kind of getting rid of it. But let's form our opinion on OHLQ at the end of this video. But apologize for the weird tasting notes and switching those glasses on you guys. But let's do it for real this time. I'm not gonna mess around. I'm gonna pour this OHLQ in this bad boy right here. And this time, I'm gonna pay attention to the OHLQ. Okay, so let's go ahead and dip into this regular Russell's Reserve and see what we get. A lot of sweet fruits and tobacco on the nose. It smells like it's got a lot of baking spices to it. It's got a beautiful, what smells like a nice age depth to this one. I'm not sure what the age statement is on this barrel, but it's got a good, like, deep aged nose to it. I'm getting a little bit of oak, just a small bit, a lot of cherry, and you're getting a little bit of that char. Let's go in for a taste. Ooh, that's a nice proof on that. It's got a nice spice to it. Baking spices. Finish is lingering nicely. It's rolling into a little bit of cherry on the finish. A nice. When I say medicinal cherry, like a cough syrupy type note in the finish, which I kind of like that. And now it's still going. So I'm getting a little bit of the barrel char, a little bit of oak, rolling into a little bit of that tobacco note, but the baking spices stay strong kind of through the whole tasting there. Let's go in for one more of this, and let's go with the OHLQ. Yeah, the medicinal cherry, a nice bite on this one. Spicy, leathery tobacco. It's got a nice, I mean, the age really stands out in this. It's got a good mouthfeel. It's very oily. And the finish is really long on this one. This one's really nice. I usually like Russells, so it's hard for me to go bad on a Russells. But let's go ahead and give this one a shot and see what we think of the OHLQ compared to the regular Russell single barrel. Now, I know I got this one right. This is definitely the OHLQ. But I do appreciate you guys kind of seeing that, because who knows what I would have done with that other barrel of OHLQ. It's like, if you really don't like it, it just kind of sits and dies. And if I wasn't confused at which glass I grabbed, I could have been like gone, mixed up, and just kind of but yeah, that regular Yellowstone, now that I know the truth, we'll try it one more time. Probably put it in a lot of mixers, and a lot of times you guys have those people over your house that you don't want to give your good stuff to. They come over and take shots of it. They can shoot that one all they want. Let's give this one a taste. Very different. Very different. Not bad. You taste a little more of the youth, a little more of the gratiness, but the baking spices still stand strong in this one. A little bit less of a finish, but this is still a good barrel. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of the leathery notes, maybe a little bit of black licorice on this one. Age does stand strong in this one as well. It's a 9-year. But you could taste the age. I mean, well, everything Wild Turkey does is pretty well done. So they do a good job. Let's go in for one more. It's a delicious one as well. It's got a nice sweetness to it. It's like a stone fruit kind of forward, with the nice oak, leathery tobacco notes as well. You could taste the similarities. You would know that this is another Russell's Reserve. Maybe not a pick, but you could definitely taste the similarities in these two. I prefer the regular one in this comparison, but I like this one, and I would definitely buy this one again. So let's kind of move on. So I do like this pick. Quite good. Let's not screw up this one. But this one I'm looking forward to. I haven't had a lot of Jefferson's products. I was saying in a couple of the comments that the first Jefferson's Ocean that I actually bought was a barrel pick from, it was a place I think in Minnesota called Ace Spirits. And it was really good. I mean, it was like caramel bomb, but you taste the saltiness, which I loved. And I thought it was all a myth. You know, it's going on a boat. You're not going to get much of the saltiness in there, but it tasted like a salted caramel ice cream kind of deal. And I fell in love with the Jefferson's Ocean, so I bought a few more bottles of it. And the other ones just didn't compare to it. So I've steered kind of clear of it, and I haven't bought a lot of Jefferson's products since that. I think I have 2 Jefferson's Oceans here. I did buy 2 of those barrel picks from Ace Spirits, so I did grab another one because I enjoyed it so much, and we haven't cracked into that one yet, but we finished the other bottle. And I did get an OHLQ pick, and I have the ones we finished already. Me and my wife kind of tapped them off when we opened them up. They were just the regular Jefferson's Ocean. So the thing I find a problem with these bottles, and I don't know if anyone's ever experienced this, they leak. They leak a lot. And the shipment in the mail, both of the Ace Spirits picks leaked. So they actually replaced them and sent me new picks. When I bought these today, specifically to do this video, I ended up getting the cognac finished one as well, and it leaked. It was upright, didn't fall over, but he bagged them all up for me. I grabbed them, took them to the car. Something smelled like liquor in the car. So I brought the bottle up, and the cork just spun in circles. So that's a problem with these bottles. Luckily, this one here did not do that. But this is the regular Jefferson's. Let's not mess this up. and I've never had this bottle before. And this is the OHLQ pick. So if you haven't had a chance to get this, we do like to share samples, and there's a few of you that made some comments on the page that you guys wanted to get this bottle. Just send me a PM or a personal message, and I'll gladly send you a sample so you can try this. OHLQ pick's gonna stay here. All right, let's give this a whirl. I smell a lot of, there's a very light grassy note on this one as well. This is the regular Jefferson's Reserve. So there's a little grassiness to it. It almost reminds me a little bit of the Yellowstone. There's I can smell like almost like a raisin type note. Grainy, corny. I can smell the corn a little bit. Raisin, maybe a dark fruit. Let's give it a taste. Definitely taste the youth. It's got a grain forward palate, so you get a lot of the grains. The bite, what's the proof on this? 90.2, and the OHLQ is 100 proof. So there's really no bite to it. It's kind of like, I describe the Yellowstone as almost like a wet mop. I'm getting this musty, meadowy type note to this one. Very grain forward, not as bad as the Yellowstone, trust me. And we're a big fan of the Yellowstone products and Limestone Branch and what they're doing down there. But after kind of revisiting that one, it's like, oh man, kind of taste the youth. We've kind of developed our palates to a lot of higher aged bourbons. So going back to something that young or tasting something like that kind of throws you back a little bit. This one I get a little bit of that as well. A little bit of the grassy, the grainy, almost a metallic-y type thing to it. It's got a little twang to it on the palate. Almost like like if you would imagine like metally, like it went through some kind of metal pipe and picked up some of the taste. Yeah, very grain forward. Very young, very drinkable. It's still decent for a newbie coming into the bourbon world and they want to try something that's pretty light. This is very light, very grain forward, very young tasting. A metallic-y, I could taste the corn notes. I can taste a lot of youth in this one, a lot of grains, maybe a cereal type aspect to this one as well. Let's go with the OHLQ pick. And maybe this will change my mind because I probably would never buy the Jefferson's Reserve again. But let's go ahead with the OHLQ. Oh man, by the nose already. Okay, the nose on this one's quite good. It's got a very strong cherry nose, very sweet. Oh, what is that? Almost like a mint. There's almost like a minty, florally herbiness to this that's like delicate, not like Four Roses floral, which I don't like. This is more like a delicate floral, almost like a potpourri type note. But it's got the sweet aspect to it and the cherries. Maybe I get a little apple on this one. Let's go ahead and in for a taste. Very crisp, citrusy. I do get some of the youth on this. Not as bad as the Jefferson's Reserve. Some of the youth. It's got a nice, I mean, at 100 proof, it's got a nice spice to it. But yeah, you get a nice citrusy nose, a crisp apple, a little bit of the grains, but the nose is a lot sweeter and a lot nicer than the Jefferson's Reserve. And on the palate, you don't get the huge youth, but you do get like a crisp apple. Maybe a little licorice on this one as well. I get a lot of oak on the second sip. There's a good amount of oak in this one. I like the proof on this one. A lot of 100 proofs don't hit real hard for me. This one has got a nice full mouthfeel, where this one was a little thin. And OHLQ pick, I'm going with the OHLQ pick on this one. I wouldn't say it's great. Would I buy the Jefferson's Reserve OHLQ pick again? No. But I like it a lot better than the Jefferson's Reserve. So that's another vote for OHLQ. So far in the last video, we've got a vote for the Yellowstone, which I fucked up. Sorry. And thank you again. And then we have a vote for the Wilderness Trail, and a vote for the new riff that we did yesterday. And right now we've got another vote for the OHLQ here. So we've 2-2'd it. Let's get to the Remus. Remus is a brand where I haven't dipped into too much. I like the Remus limited releases. The George Remus, I haven't really tried too many bottles of. I've had it in a couple bars just to give it a whirl and see what it's all about and see how it compares to the Remus. And I didn't mind it. This is the, I can't fuck this up. This is the regular. Regular's on the left. And this is the OHLQ. This one is number 253 of 2020. Let's give this one a try. Okay. So, I love, if you've watched our previous video of Bourbon of the Year, we threw the Remus 5 in there just because everyone in our little group loved it, and I was a huge Russell's 13 fan, and they wanted me to blind them, so they set them all up for me. And if you've watched that video, that Remus repeal showed up, and it beat the Russell's 13 for us. I definitely want to go back and compare the Russell's 13 with the Remus again, just to kind of see what I get and see if it still stays the same. But it was a shocker for me. But I tell you what, the Remus repeal is pretty good. But let's give the regular George Remus a whirl and see what this is like. 94 proof. The barrel pick comes in at 122.5. So this might give, for me, OHLQ the edge, because I do like higher proofs. So let's give the George Remus a whirl. Oh, that's a different nose. I get graham cracker, brown sugar. Not a real fruity nose. This is almost like a bakery type nose to it. So different. I kind of like that. It's very creamy. It does that, whatever that is, with the whipped cream type taste. The Remus repeal has that as well. It's very, very creamy on the palate. Very oily. Wow. I enjoy this. So far right now, the Russells were great. This is a totally different flavor profile than the Russells picks, so it's hard to compare these two unless you A and B them, but this is kind of nice. Graham crackery, bakery type nose. I almost get like I'm getting a little bit of citrusy now on it. Yeah, it's creamy. It's nice and creamy. Caramel whipped cream, slight bit of oak, but it's a very nice bottle. I could definitely go for buying another Remus. But I'm excited about this one. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the OHLQ, but 122.5, if it's got a similar profile, for me, higher proof is going to probably beat it because I like that full mouthfeel. Oh boy, the nose on this one's nice. It's got like when I actually first smelled this, I thought of Pop Rocks, you know, because it's got a little spicy to it, but it's kind of like it hits you in a different way. It was almost like popping in my nose. Hopefully that doesn't sound weird, but yeah, it's like it's more fruity compared to the regular Remus, and it's got a nice spice on the nose. Oh yeah, let's go in for a taste. Oak, nice tobacco, a nice brown sugar sweetness. At the end, the tongue is getting really coated at the end. Um, ooh, this one's quite nice. I can tell you right now, with trying the two, I like both the Remuses, but I'm going with the OHLQ. That's a nice pick. I really enjoy it. I get a little bit of the cream on the nose now, but still oaky. It tastes. I smell a little bit of age on that with that deep oakness to it. I'm not sure if it's got an age statement on here, but I don't believe so. If anyone knows the age statement, comment below. But it's got a little bit of depth to this one, so you can smell a little creamy, a little age on this one. Oh yeah, the rich fruits, brown sugar, whipped cream. Oh yeah. Now the cream came out. Now the cream came out. The proof is nice on the Remus, and this is, wow, that's a good pick. So I'm picking the OHLQ on this one. So in this round, the OHLQ won in the Remus and the Jefferson's Reserve. The Russells, I like the regular Russells over the OHLQ pick. So I want to conclude this video, and I want to first apologize a little bit to OHLQ in the previous one, because that Yellowstone probably would have changed my opinion a little bit towards the back end. But with that said, if you're comparing these OHLQ picks to something you can get outside the state, say Kentucky, Indiana, I prefer those picks a lot more over what OHLQ is doing. Now, with that said, they did make some changes within the OHLQ system. I don't know if you guys have seen. If you're interested in what those changes are, send me a message and I'll talk to you about them. There's going to be some people picking that you're probably familiar with. They brought some people in that know how to pick barrels. So we'll see what the future holds. But right now, I still don't seek these out. The OHLQ picks don't excite me to the point where I really want to wait in line to get them, that I go crazy for them. I know there's certain picks that come out that I'd really like to get, even though they disappoint me a little bit. I'm not a big Four Roses fan. The Four Roses barrel strength came out in Ohio. Everyone went crazy, tried to snag up all the bottles. I actually got one from the Kentucky Bourbon Festival down in Bardstown, and I was so excited to try it. And hopefully we release the video soon, because we were all fucked up at Buckeye Lake, and we were trying that Four Roses barrel strength for the first time. And it still hit me with the floral. Don't get it with Four Roses. I always get floral, and floral turns me totally off. But everyone's palate is different. The thing I want to point out here is single barrels are unique. If you get a single barrel, that's the standard, like the Russells is. They got a standard single barrel. They try to match profiles. So you always know what you're kind of going to get. When you start getting into individually picked barrels, you don't know if it's going to match your profile. So it's always better to try them before you buy them, because you don't know. And these here, I'd say the Remus, great pick. The Jeffersons, I wouldn't buy it again, but it was a lot better than the Jefferson's Reserve. The Yellowstone, I wouldn't buy it again, but it was better than the Yellowstone Select. The Wilderness Trail, I'd probably buy the OHLQ pick again. The mintiness on that one was so nice. It was so different than the regular one, because the regular one was minty, almost like a mint candy, and then you kind of watched that video where it kind of turned into a little more like a pecan pie kind of deal, and it was nice rye notes on the finish that were a little more milder than the OHLQ pick. But to each their own. I just like drinking bourbon, and hopefully you guys enjoy these videos, and hopefully this gives you an insight a little bit to single barrels and what to look for and what not to. And please like, comment, subscribe to the videos. I appreciate you guys commenting. We are only about 6 people away from hitting the giveaway for the Buffalo Trace bottle. So if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe and comment. And if you want samples, please let me know. We like to give out samples. We want to communicate with everybody. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Sorry about my Yellowstone mistake. Hopefully we can forget about that and let's move on to the next video. But thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, see ya.